Welcome, Aquarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a spring equinox reading for you. That's what's happening in the sky today and is influencing the kind of energy and pressure we've been experiencing for some time. I pulled a couple of oracle cards for you. I've laid out the present, past, and the future, and we'll clarify along the way. But let's get started with the wisdom card that I pulled for you. And the part of the body, the bone, if you will, is the teeth, part of the skeleton. And when this energy is in balance, the key words are inner knowing and confident. And wisdom reads, your wisdom is at the surface. You do not have to dive deep and excavate the core of yourself to see it. You don't need to turn yourself inside out to prove that you are wise. You simply need to find the right people, those who see it as readily as you do. The wise counsel you offer is unique. The opinions, guidance, responses, or initiations that only you can put forward. But it is not infallible, nor is it concerned with being right or wrong. It's simply the sum of your experience, knowledge, and wisdom, here to move you through the world. As it does so, it also moves those around you. Wisdom cannot be proven, but it is felt. Your wisdom has deep roots. It's connected above and below, within and without, in this dimension and many others. It's precious and timeless, and through you, it graces the earth right when it's needed. No matter where it comes from, deep in the earth or worlds beyond, the wisdom you carry is yours to embody. And this is coupled with the soul's journey card, love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And I think the word good here can be translated as the wise thing, the true thing. It's not about right or wrong. It isn't even about good or bad. I think this is a place from which you are able to contribute your experience, the learnings that you've had, the lessons of that experience, and the feelings that you have learned describe your experience in an embodied way. So just as teeth are part of your lived body, so is the spirit of love, the spirit of your wisdom is something that is within and without, as above, so below. And underneath the deck, the Page of Wands. I like this. This is describing your enthusiasm, your inspiration that is leading you at this time. This is a very youthful energy. This is a recognition that you are whole, complete, and willing to pursue your heart's desire. And you have the wisdom and experience to back that up. So this is a fiery energy that really is sort of shedding light on your values, your possessions, how necessary, how useful, how productive they are in making your life more secure and more comfortable. And in the present, we have the Empress. This is beautiful energy describing absolutely love, but love in its functional way, the giving and receiving of love, the balance between those attracting something to you and repulsing something away, the push and pull in a way that sometimes describes the energy of the Strength card, which is also an expression of love. So I do believe that you are a model in some way, in some area of your life, where you are highly productive, highly nurturing, and attentive to the needs of all those that you work with and around. I think that you are greatly in tune to your environment, and that is the wisdom that is able to continue to fuel and sustain an effort or an organization to some fairly high standards, a very high principle. And this is also a way in which you are learning to receive the love that you give, to be open to receiving that love, to being in your space, in yourself, in your present moment as wise, as giving and receiving of the attention, nurturance, and support that you need. In the past, the Eight of Cups. So you moved away from something that became very familiar and that you quite possibly gathered a lot of strength, learned a lot of lessons from, but recognize that you now have the courage, the stamina, the clarity to reach for something that is highly significant to you, something that is meaningful, something that's important to your life. And I do feel like, given the social environment that many of us sense we're operating in, this is particularly critical. Your clarity, your vision, your calm, your wisdom is really needed in making this uh, attempt at climbing this mountain, conquering this goal, doing something that is defining to your life, defining to your efforts, that is having an impact on the world in the way that you would like it to. In the future, two cards, Justice and the Page of Swords. I love how it feels as though words conjure up and are reflected in the cards as they are evolved. So I do feel that you are contemplating the idea of equity, fairness, uh, um, injustices in the world in a way that feels fully capable, in a way that lends to you the power of advocacy, of becoming aware of your own growth with regards to your empowerment, knowing that you have choices to make, that we make choices, that nothing is inevitable. And in fact, justice is something that we enact through all range of activities, words, and efforts in our lives. From the smallest effort at eating good food to standing up for what we believe is right in the face of authoritarianism. This is part of the empowerment that you're gaining regarding impacting and changing what you see as unjust and unfair in the world. The openness with which you're doing it is what is so signature here, because you're resting in this place of centeredness, of understanding that you have the capacity to enjoy all of the abundance in the world. You approach the possibility of your impact with open curiosity. You recognize that fighting injustice, pursuing truth, or your truth in particular, is a range of motions and actions that occur within us, within our homes or communities, as well as in the world or in our places of power, organization, employment. And that observation, that openness to learning, that looking at all the variety of examples of uh, fighting oppression in whatever form that we encounter it or we experience it, is part of this sense you have of balancing out these powers within you and outside of you, finding harmony, working towards peace in the sense of knowing war is not inevitable. It doesn't have to be that way. And that is despite what we are often told or being made to believe, that bad things happen, and that's just the way it is. You know that, in fact, we're far more creative, far more imaginative. There are too many unnumbered, unnamed possibilities to accept that. There's any number of ways that we can counter what is not right in our worlds. If this reading is resonating for you, Aquarius, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the ways you support me, and am very grateful for the support that I have been receiving to be able to sustain this channel. So I'm deeply appreciative. I'm going to clarify the Eight of Cups in the past with a couple of cards, and the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Wow. A lot of growth in your past. The Empress. Woo. The Chariot. And I'm going to take one more for the Empress to clarify that. And we have the Moon. And for the Justice and the Page of Swords. Whoa. We have the Mage and the Three of Wands. Okay. So in the past, the Eight of Cups is clarified by the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups. There's been such a long process that you have undergone to create your process of success, of achievement. You have really fought against a number of forces that you were very clear were not in favor of your actions, your decisions, or your words, that actively blocked you, perhaps feeling mistrustful of those that had that were in your environment, that you could not sufficiently guard yourself against. So there is a process of feeling blocked, discouraged, that you have learned to overcome by this investment in your own process of healing. And that is finding the joy, looking at the triggers and the unsettled, shameful, guilty emotions that rise up around events in your life, or the ways that others in your environment trigger you in ways that you felt were not a reflection of who you were, being angry, vengeful, jealous, envious, because that was the energy you felt was coming towards you. So that process of healing that, of recognizing that, wait a minute, I can do for me what others won't do for me. And that is taking care of myself, really looking at the things that bother me, that I don't feel good about, and understanding that I am learning the joy of self-discovery, of self-exploration, and the advancement that it brings. The lessons I gain from that teach me over and over again that my life is abundant, and that I am merely here to serve with the resources and the talents I have, and to be open to receiving that in return. And in that way, you are discovering this joy in who you are, the satisfaction in your process that can't be taken from you by the negative experiences you have of others' efforts against you. And in the present, the Empress is clarified by the Chariot and the Moon card. I think this is really a kind of recognition of all the support, all the advantages that you do have. And that is something I think that for many of us in the world, we must be honest about as we look at great instances of oppression, of exploitation, of extraction from the earth, of limited resources, that impact people in other places and within our own homes and regions. That requires understanding how that privileges, how those privileges mean we don't have to consider things that others do. We don't have to think about the way we have access to things and others don't. They may be neighbors who don't have the same opportunities or access we have. So as we explore that and become honest with ourselves about that, we come to a greater understanding of uh, the support we have in the world and how we are assisted in ways that help us to be more deliberate about the environment we cultivate around ourselves. They help us to eliminate the distractions from those who perhaps are similarly entitled or empowered, so that you come to be clear that those distractions are from people who can do for themselves in many ways. And this feels as though you are preparing yourself to help those who don't have the privileges that you or others around you enjoy. And in order to focus on achieving that, you must protect your sacred space. You must protect the ability to exercise your gifts, your vision to the best way possible so that you can channel your energies into the success, the achievement that you desire. So I feel like a lot of you are super tapped into a lot of guidance, meditation, dream work, perhaps connections with members of your family in a way that is very supportive, ancestry, your cultural heritage in a way that supports you and clarifies where your assistance or contribution is needed. And in the future, the Justice and the Page of Swords are clarified by the Three of Wands and the Mage. Yeah, I see you building this. What comes to me is the title of a book that I've read, and for some reason I'm blanking on his name. Brian, Just Mercy is the title of the book. I believe that there was a movie about this young lawyer who set up the Justice Center in Montgomery, Alabama, to help those that were incarcerated, or particular impact has been to assist women and children to be removed from death row, unfair, unjust incarceration. So forgive me, Lord, for not being able to remember this man's name. He's had such a huge impact on me and is such an inspiration. But I feel like you are building something that is meant to address some injustice that you see within your own world, within your own community. For some of you, you're working on a larger scale than that, but you are recognizing that the need is not just across the waters or across the world. It also exists right here among us. And that is part of your recognition of around the multiplicity of ways that we can act to rectify unfair treatment in the world. What beautiful energy. I'm going to finish up this reading, Aquarius, with a crystal oracle. And what comes out is the Heliodor, and the key word is confidence. I'm confident in all that I do. And I feel that this is full circle with some of the wisdom of the wisdom card, that you are confident, that you are understanding that your simpler response that comes from within is helping you to build something that is effective, that will have an impact in a way that you can feel proud of and you can know is changing lives. So this is about the ways we can change the world. And in that way, I'm very humbled by your reading today, Aquarius. Thank you so much. And until next time, namaste.